Let's talk through all these golf events that you have coming up.
Gabby, I'm glad you asked. Got my calendar right here. July 17th at Red Run, and then July 31st, I have the American Golf Outing for the Cancer Society.
I also have the American Cancer Society golf outing on the 31st, and also I got yours on the 18th, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Boys, these are a lot of events and golf outings.
Well, you want me to miss my own golf tournament?
Gabby, they're all great calls.
I mean, this is...
Hold on. I got this. Guys, I got this. Don't worry about it. Hold on a second.
He always...
Hey guys. Thanks for coming so fast. How are ya? Remember the guys from Randy Wise, right? Sir. The Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
Watch for the eye.
Stay tuned.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports. And some, well, not so much. Brought to you in part by Premier Security Solutions, Fairway Packing Company, and Swiss Insurance. Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com. Yo, welcome back everybody. Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Big D!
My name is Neal Ruhl, that guy D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here in the building. All of you in the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Tap into there. Get your thoughts out there. Tons of stuff to get to today. Spencer, how was the drive in this morning?
Great drive in. Just a beautiful, beautiful day. Woodward, like D-Mac said, is feeling smooth. It was just a great drive.
You're feeling smooth.
I got here earlier than usual. Just, was happy to get up and go for a drive.
There he is. Spenmo, that smile that we
Welcome
love
back,
from Spenmo
Spenny.
Rax.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We held it down for you yesterday. We were in there and we got the job done. But welcome back, Spenny. Good to have you back.
Good to be back.
Yeah. So there is Spencer Raxter, new car and all. But we talked about it. The electricity of getting a new vehicle. What's your report on it?
Oh, I love it, man. It's beautiful. It's my first brand new car, the 2023 Blazer. It's black on black with the black rims. I love it. It's amazing.
How long does this new car smell last?
It's staying. It's still lasting. It still smelled like it this morning, so I'm excited for it, and I'm gonna tint it out probably. So my boy does.
Just
tints.
keep easy out of it. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
That's what it's all about.
How about people asked about the potholes? Are you extra vigilant of the potholes and everything now?
I've been getting even more pissed off. When yesterday on my way home, a semi leaned into my lane on the freeway, and I felt myself just get heated.
Bricked up Spenny behind the wheel. Stoke not scared for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stoke not scared.
Neal,
Stoke not scared. Stoke not scared.
Take a moment.
Stoke
I want
not
to
scared.
reach down
Take it to
into
one.
the 2 o'clock hour to the bottom line. And not for anybody on the desk, but I just want to give a big D energy happy birthday to one of the guys in the back who making it happen, JB Smooth.
JB Smooth.
Happy
with a V.
birthday today, JB Smooth. Guess how old JB is? I'm not going to tell you, but he's older than you think he is. But making it work, so I wanted to say big D energy because it's all the guys in the back that do all that work. So, and plus, he shared one of his birthday donuts with me this morning. I felt privileged, so thanks a lot for that. Krispy Kreme all the way.
Happy birthday, JB.
Shout out JB Smooth.
Happy
All the
birthday,
cats in the
JB.
back, man. Noah, Ryan Lentz, all of them, man. It's funny, man, because I always bring that up. The success that Woodward has is because of those dudes and the work they do.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
Because there's not 600,000 people watching this show right now.
Yeah.
But 600,000 people have watched clips of us before on TikTok and Insta and all that kind of stuff.
We got the easy job.
100%. So, shout out to those cats back there doing it. And we do appreciate it. Speaking of that, subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel or the Big D Energy podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker as well. And when you do subscribe, Spencer...
5-star.
Yeah, there he is. 5 stars. Give us a 5 stars. Give us the review and everything like that. Detroit Dabber 313, first one in with the big what up, doe. Some reaction to Spencer Raxter and his new ride. Rich Diana says road rage is a form of protecting your territory even when your territory is rolling.
That's true. That's a good point.
So, hey, we can justify that. Lots of happy birthdays out to JB Smoove on the ones and twos. That's right, JB Smoove with a V. Make sure, and look, I know tomorrow's like a getaway day for everybody. Productivity at workplaces around the world will be at an all-time low as everybody looks
They say that the busiest time to not be on the roads is between 3 and 6 p.m. tomorrow. I saw that this morning. Thanks, Ryan.
See, there you go. But, hey, we will keep in that fine form. It will be the biggest of Big Package Fridays tomorrow.
Wow.
You think last Friday was a big package? Wait till you see our packages tomorrow.
It's like stuffing that cooler, jumping up and down, getting that last bit of ice in there for the road trip.
Yeah, so we're going to do it. Chuck Brewer says, Neal, the morning show has proclaimed that Sam Flannel is the Fredo of Woodward. Is that true?
Pretty much.
I think that's...
Does that mean who would you take out in a boat and shoot?
I'm guessing.
out of here? I mean, Sam's got to be at the top of the list, no?
I mean, I think that's erroneous and slanderous, but that's okay. I can take it. Maybe Chuck Brewer is the Fredo of the chat.
No, we all know Brandon Katz is the Fredo.
That's actually true. That's actually true.
Andrew Klingerman says Big D, big packages. Yes, absolutely. Ooh. It will be the biggest of the big package Fridays.
It'll be a bricked up Friday here.
Yeah. The goal tomorrow is going to be a big package every segment of the show.
Hell yeah.
Can it be done?
That's what it's all about.
Yes, it can. We won't even be able to fit all the packages into that one holder.
Sometimes you can't fit the package, you got to make it fit.
You got to alter things. Yeah, so it will be.
It's going to be a splurgy.
Stephen Baffy said it was deemed that Sam Flannel is the most likely to say something to get himself killed, like saying that D-Mac is not a legend. That is true, Sam Flannel. Even you can't deny that.
Well, here's the whole thing. Like, he could have his opinion or whatever, but in this city, you can't deny it. And in this city, so you know what? I don't really care about. We're Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, about the people of this state and this city. So that's the only dominance. AD can have the rest of the country.
Detroit legend, no doubt.
Amen. Thank you, Spenny.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread as well. Ryan's reaction wants to. He's got a question for Sam Flannel. How many championships exceeds luck, Flannel?
What does that mean? I don't even know what that means.
Because you say Tom Brady is like the luckiest player of all time, even though he won 7 titles.
I mean, he's had lucky moments in pretty much every playoff moment he's had. It's not just something that you can... It's moments. It's not an entire playoff run. It's not something you can easily quantify. I'll give you an example. He won 2 Super Bowls in which he led his offense to 13 points. Come on.
But doesn't it have a way of working itself out, though? Because David Tyree caught a ball one-handed against the top of his helmet at the end of the game, or if he doesn't make that catch, that Tom Brady wins another one.
Well, let me respond to that. That was the 2007 Patriots offense was one of the greatest offenses in NFL history, and they scored 14 points in that game. They did not play well enough to win. On the other side, in the 2017 Super Bowl, when Tom Brady led his offense to 33 and the defense gave up 41 to the Eagles, I do not put that on Tom Brady at all. He played well enough to win in that game.
And that was going to be my part number 2.
Sure.
Was he unlucky that day?
Absolutely.
So do the 2 unluckies cancel out the 2 luckies?
It's not about canceling out. It's about moments.
Oh, okay. That's the narrative. Okay. Just wanted,
Everything I said was factually true. I even gave Tom Brady credit for that Super Bowl that he lost. Not a lot of Tom Brady haters will do that. I actually did that because I am objective.
there it is.
And he's better than all of you. Remember that.
He according to him.
Yeah.
According to him,
Only
he's better than all of you.
Only if you think Anthony Davis isn't a Hall of Famer. Every other argument you can disagree with me on. It's only about the AD not being a Hall of Famer because if you don't think so, you're just hating. That's it.
Rich Diana, Sam Flannel is Michael Jordan when he was with the Bullets.
It was the Wizards, bro. They weren't called the Bullets anymore. Shows how much you know.
D-Mac. Apollo says, AD isn't a Hall of Famer. Sorry, Sam Flannel. No, we're not going to go down that road right now. Should we do an Ask Sam Flannel for the last segment?
Oh, let's do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Please.
That just kind of popped in my mind.
Yes.
I think
Save
we
your
should.
Ask Flannel questions for the last segment of the show.
Real quick, I do want to get to this because tomorrow is a very big package Friday where we're going to do a lot of packages. I was at my son's soccer practice the other day, and they practice at one of the local parks up where we lord over, we lord over everybody at the highest point in Macomb County. D-Mac's talked about it 100 times. And D-Mac, look, I know you're a big animal guy, and lots of people are big animal guys. And I don't like pets. I don't want to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to clean up after them. What?
That's just a crazy statement to me. I don't like pets.
I don't like pets.
It's fair. It's fair.
I don't. If you want pets, cool. I don't care what you do. Go ahead.
I love pets.
It appears to me, D-Mac, I think we've crossed the line with dogs. We've gone too far. I was at the soccer practice, and I noticed.
Hold on. This is deeper than just having your dog at the game, right? You're not talking about
yes. This is deeper. This is deeper.
Deeper, okay.
We've crossed the line with dogs, and for all the dog people out there, this is too far. And I don't care. You're not going to get me off of this thought. I looked in the distance, and I saw a lady walking with a stroller. Maybe lady's there with their baby or whatever. She kind of walks around and gets over by us, and there's a dog in the stroller. It's a dog in the stroller.
All right, and that bothered you?
When is it enough, man? Between the sweaters on the dogs, the dog in the stroller. Because, D-Mac, these are the same people and this is the one that triggers me, the people that bring the dog in the grocery store. All right? I struggle with that one. I don't want a dog in the grocery store. I don't, with their hair everywhere and stuff like that in the produce aisle. I don't want it. I'm sorry. Keep your dog at home. It's a dog. It's an animal.
Hold on. Are we talking about the dog in the grocery store, or are we talking about outside of the soccer? People push it. Like, are you saying that dogs are getting too baby? They're not being treated like dogs. That's your problem.
No, it's not on the dog. The dog's a dog. It's not a person.
I don't understand.
It's on the people that do it.
What's the difference if there was a baby in there? It'd be all right. But maybe
that's because a baby is a person.
Is somebody's baby.
The baby is a person.
I think it's two different conversations.
The dog is an animal.
Bringing a dog to a grocery store and then bringing a dog in a stroller to a soccer game. Who gives a shit?
Because
you're outside.
I was upset about it at the grocery store, and the dog in the stroller.
Permeated.
Yeah, it's a lot like when our wives get mad at us.
I'm just trying to get to the why, Neal. The why is it really comes down to is why do people have to take their dogs to the grocery stores? Now, maybe service animals and stuff like that. And you're talking like a Kroger or like a Hollywood Market as opposed to a Walmart or a Home Depot or stuff like that?
Just anything in general that has food in it. You know what I'm saying? It's got food in it, dude.
I think society's changed, though, where it's more of a pet society with the service dogs, and now everybody with
and these people that bring their
pets.
Dogs and walk them around the grocery store are the exact same people that will trigger at a restaurant when there's a hair in the plate or something like that. These are the same people that'll trigger that. You can't have it both ways, dude. You walk around the grocery store with your dog, man. It's a dog at a grocery store.
Well, that's a pretty general statement because you'd have to investigate each person,
each individual incident.
Yeah, I think so.
If I had spare time, I would do it.
We need a census.
From Neal hates the fact that if you bring your dog to the grocery store.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's a lot like our wives, D-Mac. It's not when we forgot to run the dishwasher.
Come on down to Florida. You see me pushing around my Yorkie, 12-year-old Yorkie.
In a stroller?
Goes everywhere. Service dog. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, to each their. I don't understand it permeated.
It permeated
from the grocery store to the outdoors.
Yes, because it started with the sweaters, and then it started with the little.
I think it's
purses that you carry them in.
Well, cats have leashes now,
and then it got to the stroller, and the tipping point is the dog at the grocery store.
Well, Neal, I mean, people walk their cats now. You know,
cat leash is legendary.
It is more of an. Isn't it? We live in a more of an animal-friendly society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get on board or get left behind.
Look at all
Neal.
the restaurants that allow pets outside and stuff like that. So
that's another thing.
I can't tell
dog
you not
at a restaurant.
To go to the
That's
gross.
gross.
But you know,
that's gross. I'm sorry. It's gross. I know you all dog people, and I know you love your dogs. All right, it's gross to me, and it won't never not be gross.
You're gross.
Sorry, Spenny. You will not change me on this. I'm very open-minded. I'll listen to the other side of the story. But dogs in open spaces with food is gross to me.
Okay, but outside in the stroller, it's just
it's fine.
That goes to the over the top, like with the sweaters for the dogs.
Yeah.
You're not opposed. But again, you hold no weight, bro, because you don't have one.
Railroad Journey says you're a doggist.
A doggist. Steven Syrett says preach, Neal. So there you go.
That's fair.
There you go. So other people feel the same way. Maybe that's the underlying in society. Like people
El
just suck it up.
Gato. El Gato, which is Spanish for the cat, says, I agree with Neal. That's some irony
That
right
is
there,
some
isn't
irony,
it?
yeah.
I like the way Gino says cat leashes are outlandish.
Cat leashes are awesome, man. How's that outlandish? You want to take your cat for a walk outside?
Smokin says you can stick your dog in a kennel and leave the house. Try that with a kid, and you'll be in jail, hopefully. And Smokin, that's kind of like an underlying point where I think as a society, like we've crossed a bridge almost where, like, if you go on an airplane and have your dog in a little satchel or purse or whatever, everyone's like, oh my God, that's so cute. But let a baby cry, which is what babies do, and everyone's just sitting there like, oh. Like, put some headphones on, put a movie on, and shut up, dude. Babies cry. It's what they do.
That's the best point you've made about this whole topic. I will give you that.
Just things that I noticed, Sam Flannel. Just things that I noticed. So you guys want to have dogs? I don't care. Do it what you want. Just don't have it around my food that I have to buy.
It's fair.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
Is that fair, D-Mac?
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
See?
Fair
We're
enough.
constructive around here. We come back. Calvin Johnson weighs in on the Jameson Williams situation. We're all for it. We are off and running. Hey, if you want to look tight for the Memorial Day weekend, there's still time, D-Mac.
Look at me, high and tight, got her braided back, got some wrestling to do this weekend, but you can walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick, GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, girlfriend, best bud. And you're going to have to find a new bud because Spenny got his own car, so don't worry about him. Get the Lady Jane's open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rash as we push towards the holiday weekend. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. I knew this stuff was coming. Justin says, Neal, is a service dog okay in a restaurant? Yes, a service dog is okay in a restaurant. Like Steve says, my cousin's blind, takes his dog to restaurants.
Like.
It's weird, but I have to accept it.
That's what a service dog license looks like. Just so you know. Oh, underneath the paper. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
There it is. So that's an older one, but that's an official one. So you would accept the fact that
Correct.
That's it.
Correct.
I
Yes.
passed the test, so we're good.
Like I'm going to sit up here and be like, no, your cousin, if your cousin's blind, no, he just can't go to a restaurant. No,
Okay.
absolutely not. Like, yes, that's okay. I'm talking about the people, and look, D-Mac, I respect that, but let's be real. I'll give you that, but give me this. There are people walking around with service dog license where they bring their dog into a restaurant that's in one of those little purses and stuff like that. That is not a service animal to you if it's sitting in a purse. That's my point.
Yeah,
There's abuse of it everywhere.
The line's been smirched.
And that's fair.
For the ones that
That's all I'm looking for.
Need that, yes.
That's all I'm looking for. So yes, absolutely.
That's why I carry. Obviously, you need that. So if you have it, but you're right, and there is. How about the fact that if it's dogs are allowed, then you have the option. They should let you know or not let you know before you go in, instead of going in and then seeing a dog, walking around. Usually on the plane or, in the restaurant, dogs are allowed. Somebody said that. I know down in Dunedin, Florida, it's dog central outside, but it's sort of accepted.
Yes.
And you're okay with that.
I'm an East Sider, right? Partridge Creek Mall.
Yeah.
Like the outside mall. Cool. You know that going in, man.
So you know that going in, and a lot of times it's just the leniency.
Yes.
So,
but a dog in a grocery store,
emotional support,
a dog in
and
an
then they had every animal was emotional support. Everybody trying to right? Everybody
sure.
trying to use
Yeah.
everything. So it's about the system, being true to the system.
And that's it.
all you're trying to say.
Honor the system.
Honor the system. Again, it just comes back
Like Patty
to
Grimes.
accountability.
Patty Grimes said service alligator. If you have a service alligator and you need that alligator, I respect that. I encourage that. I want that. I want people to be comfortable. I just don't want them to be assholes.
That's fair.
Which is a big ask.
Damn, that's a big ass.
All right. Detroit Lions. This was kind of cool to see making the rounds.
Ooh, from dogs to lions. I like it.
Yeah, Shane Sandrock says, what about a service flannel? Service ferret? Yeah, so there is that. Calvin was around Detroit Lions practice number 1, but he had some thoughts on the Jamison Williams situation. Now, I saw this on the rundown, and I like to do this in real time. So I purposely did not watch it. I want to hear what Calvin had to say about the Jamison Williams situation.
You went through adversity early in your career. You were 0-16. You had played through an injury in year 2. Yeah. Jamison Williams is a guy that's going through some adversity at the start of his career. What advice would you give to him as he embarks on year 2 here with the Lions?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the adversity that he's been through. We're here living it with him, and it's unfortunate, but adversity is going to come. There's always going to be adversity, when in anything that you do, even if things are just seemingly going right. There's always going to be some level of adversity, but it's really just how you interact with that adversity. How do you combat that adversity? Do you allow that adversity to, hold you down, or do you push up? Do you thrive? Do you stand back up? So this is all about getting back up. No matter how many times you get knocked down, you just got to keep on getting back up, and you'll find success.
It's a great message.
And that was Calvin Johnson with our own Ryan Ermanni from The Final Word, 2 to 4 here with Braylon Edwards on Woodward Sports Network. And Maz.
Oh my God, it's Ryan Ermanni.
That's people in the streets are like that, man. That's what they say.
The streets love Ryan.
The streets do, especially a certain demographic of the streets.
Yeah, a very specific demographic.
Speaking of pets allowed at outdoor malls.
Yeah.
That same kind of demographic. Is that fair? That's fair, right?
That's fair, yeah.
Especially during the day hours.
Yeah, 40-plus female crowd, for sure.
Now, what'd you take of it?
No, I mean, I like that he weighed in on it because he shares my sentiment on it, D-Mac. Like everyone that lost their mind, and I got accused of being flippant about it, right? Like, Neal, you're being flippant about it. It wasn't going to change. He's suspended for 6 games. That's it. That's all. It doesn't alter the trajectory of the franchise, in my opinion. It doesn't alter what you're going to do on draft day. It was pretty apparent it didn't alter what they were going to do on draft day. When you boil it all down, it's a 6-game suspension. So what do you got to do when you come back? You got to ball out.
Ball out, yeah.
But that didn't change for me. Like because of the 6-game suspension or anything like that. Heavy resources were invested in acquiring him. So my outlook on him, my expectations for him do not change. I mean, he's a number 12 overall pick.
High
yeah, he's got a ball out.
20, you moved up the spots to draft him. Does anybody feel this way? Just the fact that it just feels right to have Calvin, to see pictures of him at training camp, to hear him on Fox 2 with our boy Ryan Ermanni talking about, being around the Pistons, talking about him doing his camp for high school kids and stuff at Ford Field, with the relationship being open, saying working together. Because what is Calvin Johnson? I guess that's what I try to exude a lot of times, and I'm a little bit way more emotional when it comes to the culture of the Red Wings. But to hear Calvin Johnson say, hey, this is adversity, you're going to face it, and it doesn't really change anything, it sort of makes me feel better. Calvin's always been sort of that, more in the Stevie tone, is that he doesn't say much, but when he does talk, it's always thoughtful. It's always something that is deeper to me. So the fact that he's sort of as much back in the fold that he is, just being around and talking about it and being there, hopefully, if Jamison Williams has questions about adversity, because, yeah, Calvin's a prime example. We forget, injuries early in his career, that he had to face adversity, let alone all the stuff throughout. So this made me feel better, the fact that, and it shows that Calvin's engaged. And an engaged Calvin Johnson, engaged Barry Sanders, as we see Barry retweeting stuff and being around, Ford Field and being around the Lions draft day and stuff like this. It just makes me feel better with the direction that we're going, even in facing some tough situations like the Jameson Williams missing the first 6 games. So to me, when I watch that, when I listen to Calvin, when I see him around, when I hear him talking about the coaching staff, Calvin's one of the most genuine people that I know. And he's not going to say anything if he doesn't feel it, right? And the fact that he's becoming more forthcoming and outgoing and personable, and you see what it is, I think it just helps the whole situation. And that's, to me, the biggest part about having Calvin around for the culture.
And I'm with you on that. And for me, Calvin, well, I've talked about my feelings about Calvin Johnson in the past. Calvin is up there in that air with Isaiah Thomas to me, like with Barry Sanders. In that, look, it would have been very easy for Calvin Johnson to play out his rookie deal and bounce. Or it would have been very easy when it was coming towards the end of his career for Calvin to walk to the ownership and say, look, get me out of here.
Do you remember when he sat here and we sat and we talked to him and he came out forthcoming and it was like the last 3 years of his career were sort of up in the air where we wouldn't have known it, but he'd been contemplating retiring if it wasn't for the receivers room and the team and what he thought he could do. Because injury-wise, his hands and we don't really understand how much pain and different things he's going through until that interview there. Go back in the archives, woodwardsports.com, see our interview that we did with him where he tells you that. So the fact that he didn't quit then, didn't quit on this team no matter what, and I think it just feels right. And he's supposed to be around, just like Barry's supposed to be around. And it tells me again that it starts at the top, and Sheila's, doing the right things, and the people that are in charge are doing the right things. So, it's all about progress and moving forward, and I think that's a great sign. To hear him talking openly and candidly, good, bad, right, wrong, or indifferent about the team that he truly loves.
And above all this, right, like above his take on the JMO situation, I'm happy he's back around because I do put him in that Isaiah Thomas category. I do put him in that Miguel Cabrera category, where he's slander-proof. And people can talk about him retiring and stuff like that. People can talk about Barry retiring and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. They retired. It's not like they strong-armed their way out and went and played somewhere else. No. And look, with the Lions, you can say this. They went down with the ship. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't because of them the Lions didn't win. They got gold jackets to prove it. Period. End of story. If you have a problem with that, then you're in your feelings about that. Because that man, someone in the chat earlier said, look at Calvin's hands. It looks like he's throwing up gang signs the way his fingers are contorted and everything like that. Every ounce of fabric he had to give, he gave to Detroit. Period. End of story. You can't debate that. You can't debate that, man. I'm not going to have people talking about quitting on the team and stuff. No, he was done. He retired. That was it. There was no more to give.
No.
There was no more to give on his terms. He earned that. You know how I know he earned that? Go to Coop or go to Canton and see Calvin. Go see Barry. You know what I'm saying? Like, those guys gave every ounce they had to. And here's where it cements it, D-Mac, is look at them now. They want to be a part of this. That's the biggest thing for me.
Yes.
Like, that's how I know it's deep, right?
It's the same with us. Same with me.
Yeah.
With the Wings. The fact that Stevie back around and things have changed where I want to be a part
Steve
of it.
Steve Yzerman, same way.
Right.
Not only is he like a part of it, he is it.
He is it.
He is it. Like, he's putting it on his shoulders to say, you know what? I'll save this franchise.
Yeah.
Again.
And then the rest of us come back in, because look at all the guys that are in charge of getting it right on the ice.
Because that shit doesn't change, does it,
And then
D-Mac?
for me, it's getting it right off the ice.
Yeah.
The best part is I have nothing to do with the team.
That doesn't change, does it? When 19 walks in, you walk in behind them.
Absolutely, always. I'm, meat rider, whatever. Been doing it for years.
Self-admitted Steve Yzerman, meat rider. Hey, you know what?
What are you gonna do?
We all are. We all are. Same way with Cintron, right?
Absolutely.
And Cintron right now is a special offer for Woodward Sports fans. You can go to drinkcintron.com/Woodward and get the Red Wings theme 6-pack sampler box. $15, free shipping to your door. Boom. That's it. That's all. So do it right now. Go to drinkcintron.com/Woodward and you can try it all. The great tasting Cranberry, the classic, or the sugar-free. Okay. Cintron, exclusively served and proudly served at Little Caesars Arena, also at Keyworth Stadium while you're taking in Detroit City FC match. My compatriot here, Darren McCarty. You'll see him smashing a cranberry from time to time when you're down there because it's Cintron, the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings, Darren McCarty.
Drink it, live it, love it with Cintron.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rackstow, all of you on the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast while you're at it. And after you do that, Spencer,
5-star.
Absolutely. Drop a 5-star review on there. You guys are doing a great job with that. We appreciate it. If you haven't, please feel free to do so. iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you consume your podcast, that is where you can do it. But we are talking about Calvin Johnson, and he's been making the rounds. Certainly our own Ryan Ermanni on Fox 2 did a sit-down interview with him, so make sure you catch that. But Calvin, it wasn't just a wide receiver situation. It wasn't just that. He also had some thoughts about Dan Campbell. And remember, those two were teammates back in the day. You know what's funny about that, D-Mac, real quick, before we get to the video? The pictures of Dan Campbell and Calvin Johnson kind of like giving the bro hug and stuff like that. Dan Campbell looks like he could still play football because Calvin still looks like he could play football. But Dan Campbell, D-Mac, looks like he's ready to line up now.
Oh, absolutely. And you see that. And there's something to it because when you not only know, there's one thing to play for a guy, a former player that has coached, but when you've been in the locker room with him, you know what he's made of. You've been in the workout room. You know what he's made of. You know how much work he puts in the study room and being through a season. So there's a respect that goes along with that. But no, I mean, you don't. Dan Campbell's ready to go. And I think that here's the one thing that you temper with the expectations, and what you see, yes, is the journey, right? It's doing it and not doing it too quickly, and it's sort of doing it at their speed. It shows me the dictation of Dan Campbell setting the tone, right? It's his tone, and everybody, I mean, we see it. I mean, where did I read it I was reading through it yesterday that, what was it, C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Kirby Joseph were playing some game, and they were talking about the intensity of coming here, about how everybody wants to work and go through the wall for Dan Campbell. How many times have we heard this over the past 2 years, even without winning games, right? So the culture of what Dan has built there with the players that Brad has brought them is something that you love to see. And when you filter back the old players, especially not the old players, but the gold jacket guys that can have an influence, that have been around through the worst of times, because a lot of times I got to tell you what you don't know, right?
Because you don't know it.
Because you trust me, because you don't know it. And I've been through it. And if I went through it and got a break or an amputation or end up in the hospital, hopefully you see it coming and you only get a Band-Aid, right? Or you might get, a rash or something like this, but you're not going to suffer the penance that I had to suffer. And that's the brilliance of having Calvin around, having Barry around, having Dan Campbell, because it's true respect, right? I can give you the utmost true word of a guy if I played with him, if I've been in the locker room, if I went to war with him. That's the real deal.
That is the real deal.
And here's the one thing, right? From what I know about Calvin Johnson as a man, right? He's not going to say a bad word, right? Like too publicly or whatever. He's just not going to say something, right?
He'll just be quiet. He's proven that, yeah.
And he's
tap out,
proven that. That's the class that he is. That's whatever it is. So in that same aspect, when he does feel the way that it is, and it is positive, and it's stuff that he sees, and he does tell us that it's real. It's as real to him. And so then, don't tell me what, tell me who. Do you use Calvin Johnson as one of your pillars or one of your buffers to information coming out of there? Speculation? I do.
Yeah, 100%.
100% I do. So to hear him talk about not only, the JMO, but talk about, Dan Campbell and why, and him bring it up, we played together, so he knows. And there's another level to that. It's so true in the hockey world too.
Yeah.
Right? It's about being in that locker room and knowing what the guy's made of.
So yes, Calvin Johnson did talk about Dan Campbell and what he's doing for the team. Roll it, Spenmo.
How do you characterize it?
Yes, I would say the same. We have had more and more frequent discussions, speaking a lot with not just Mike Disner over there, even more people are coming into the fold, being able to talk to the coaches and whatnot. It's very cool. I'm a fan of the game, I'm a fan of Dan, I'm a fan of the coaching staff that he has over there, because I know how much the team will learn from that, will glean from that. So, this is very exciting the way they ended last year. It's very exciting the way how they're going into this year, because, that the way they ended just gives them all the momentum they need for this year, and they're looking good in our division. So,
Calvin with the single eyebrow raise right there. That's when you know somebody's sincere about something.
There it is.
When they raise a single eyebrow, you know that they believe in what they're saying.
No, absolutely. And then it goes down to like I said, to when Calvin talks. I mean, he's not going to say something that he doesn't believe.
Yeah.
There's no BS in that dude.
Let me ask you this, Spenmo, as one of the younger dudes in here, how much do you remember of like Barry Sanders?
None.
How much do you remember of Calvin?
Everything.
Everything?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's why it's important too that Calvin is back around. I think for the younger fan base, like you guys attach yourself to GOATs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that, you don't have to have you've seen the highlights, so you know how great Barry Sanders was. So you kind of attach yourself to that, even without having seen him play. Does that cut ice with you where a Barry or a Calvin is back around saying, you guys need to pay attention to what's going on here because shit is real around here right now? Does that cut ice with you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these are the guys that are Calvin Johnson, top 3 receiver in the history of the NFL. Barry Sanders, arguably the best running back in the history of the NFL. Like, these guys know what they're talking about. They can teach these younger guys so much. And even, not for me, but these guys on the team now that are younger than me by a couple of years, they grew up watching Calvin Johnson. They know what Calvin Johnson is. You hear multiple running backs in this class saying, yeah, Barry Sanders is my favorite running back of all time. Like, having these guys in there, their influence, their teaching, what they can tell these guys, not only being great players, but 2 of the ultimate professionals in their craft, Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson, just being total pros, doing what they have to do, not putting on any off-the-field troubles, nothing like that, just being professionals is another thing that can help these young guys grow as pros.
Yeah, it's just, for me, D-Mac, look, what's been the knock on the Lions for all these years? Just, they don't get it. From the top down, they just don't get it.
Well, that's that's the difference, right? When we talk about Brad Holmes and everything all along, it starts at Sheila.
Right.
She got it, right? With the old adage, if you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come back.
Yeah.
Right. That's the biggest thing. You see guys flocking back, and the best of the best flocking back.
Say that again,
you watch. I know we would talk about it later, but Florida wraps up the Eastern Conference Championship last night. Look at Yarmir Yager's in the stands. They don't have a huge history, but all their guys were back there,
right,
enjoying it. There's a nostalgia effect to it to know that what's real is going on. That's all it is. If you build it, they'll come back. And you got two of the biggest GOATs of our generation, his generation, on this organization. And you know what it is? Because I don't want to be around, and this is the way it was from after I retired up until, Stevie came back. I didn't want to be around, the garbage down there. The culture wasn't right. It wasn't a good feel. I didn't want to be around the Wings organization. You look at how it's evolved, and you look at the guys that were involved in upper management. Look at the guys now. Stevie comes back, puts guys in place. You got the Drapes, you got the Fishes, Danny Clears, you got the Swedish contingent and Lidstrom and Zetterberg and Hawk and Anderson. You got everybody coming back around. If you build it and come back, if it's true, guys will come back. Right? Guys will come back and support because this is what we know. This is like our family in the same sense. And it's great to see that because we know publicly the butting heads that it was, not just with Barry and they figured it out, him being around, but now with Calvin. So at least the organization, it's not the same. And it starts at the top, and my hat's off to Sheila.
I guess it's a long way of saying it's not a coincidence, right?
No, it's not a coincidence.
That all of a sudden, they win 9 games last year. They go from 3 wins to 9 wins, which, obviously in the National Football League is an incredible leap. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that Brad Holmes is a good GM that they hired, and it's not a coincidence that Calvin's back in the fold. Forever this organization didn't get it, and there are different definitions of it. It as in hiring a good GM that can draft people. That was one of the its. The other it is the whole Calvin mess and everything that was going on. Look at the people. Like look at Spenmo. Look at the youth. Look at the people that get charged up. Yeah. Look at the people that get charged up that Calvin's just his presence is back. And he never left. Like, for the record, it's not like they flew him back in from Georgia or something. He's always been here.
Absolutely. Working on the primitive.
Yeah.
Anyway, Spenny brought up a great point, right? The guys that are in this locker room grew up idolizing Calvin. It means more, right? It means more when you get to talk to your idols or whatever, the guys that you've watched, that you've blood, sweat, and tears and cried, with, and realize how good that is. It goes a little bit deeper. Like that's the rub, I think, now is the difference between when we grew up as Red Wings in the 90s, right, where you had Ted Lindsay and Gordie Howe and stuff, but we never saw them play. Those were my parents and my grandparents' guys and stuff like this. I think with the Wings organization, and you look at the Lions too, the buffer is tighter, right? Because guys actually play. Talking to David Perron and Sherratt and stuff like this about different playoff runs and stuff that they watched when they were young. So I think there's something to it. And the biggest thing is that it's real. What we're seeing isn't smoke and mirrors that it's been so much in the past. And we realize that because it's a consistency of coming into year 3, right? Of putting the work in. And the biggest thing for me, Neal, it's great with Calvin, and that's huge and stuff, but it's hearing the guys, the new guys, and everybody come into the room saying, man, looking side to side, man, I got to put the work in. My guy next to me is working. They all want to do it together. So you can't teach that.
Yeah, something that I'll do together or I'll do it by myself, it doesn't matter, is hit up Cousins' Maine Lobster.
That's for sure, because you can have it by yourself, together, with family, with goats like Darren McCarty or Kelvin Johnson, because everybody loves lobster. Mm-hmm. And Woodward Sports definitely loves lobster. And what better way to get your fix than Cousins' Maine Lobster? With 2 food trucks rolling around the city of Detroit, you can be sure to find the best lobster rolls, lobster tots, and lobster tacos to power through the day. Go to cousinsmainelobster.com and figure out where they are rolling around the city. You can even scan that QR code right there. It's Cousins' Maine Lobster.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, professional technicians who take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs, but I need you to call Guardian Alarm today. Here's the number, 1-800.
Stay out.
24/7 professional monitoring. Call anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as it's needed, but I need you to call Guardian today. The number, 1-800.
Stay out.
Technology backed by people. Yes, real people, flesh and blood. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work, and people, yes, Homo sapiens, who have been proven to care. They care so much, they don't even care what your opinion is about sports or anything else. Here's my point. Sam Flannel with Flannel Protection. Guardian has had his back. How many straight days now, sir?
284.
284 straight days of Flannel Protection. It goes to show you, business, personal, whatever, it doesn't matter. Guardian Alarm, no matter who you are, will protect it, but I need you to call the number today. 1-800.
Stay out. Stay out of the finals, Miami Heat. Boston's coming back and winning this thing.
Oh my God, yeah, you wish. Stay out of the chat, Calvin haters, please. Stay out of everywhere.
Stay out of the Stanley Cup Finals, Carolina Hurricanes. America's team, the Florida Panthers, stepping through.
Go
Yes,
Canes.
it is. Guardian Alarm will protect all of that. And remember, they're your local security experts. Tell them, Big D Energy, we sent you.
Keeping it pushing, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rockstar here with you. Jack Carrington says, go Canes, Neal. I know.
Go
I was
Canes.
told.
Go Canes.
America's team with the Captain America, the best American hockey player in the game today, Matthew Tkachuk. Deal with it.
It's true.
And deal with that Stanley Cup parade ending at a Botox surgery center in a strip mall.
That's what it's all about.
That is what it's all about. It's going to be it's going to start at some off-brand smoothie place in a mall and go down a toll road and end right in front of a Botox center in a strip mall next to a liquor store. That's what's going to happen. And guess what, Toronto? And you're going to have to sit there and watch it. I love it.
And I'm the hater. You hate on the worst franchise in NHL history. At least I hate on guys like Steph Curry who have actually won things.
What are you driving at?
I'm just saying that your hatred and animus towards Toronto, you're punching way down. They are one of the worst franchises in NHL history.
No way.
1967.
I mean, they still have how many cups? Quite a few.
They were playing 5 opponents when they won their cups. They haven't won since.
So it doesn't matter, right?
I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but
no, you just said it doesn't matter.
They weigh less than modern day Stanley Cups. I'm just saying you punch down. When I hate
Hey,
on
when does D-Max Cups become irrelevant? What's the year? Give me the line.
No, I'm not saying the Red Wings Cups were irrelevant. I'm just saying that.
Give me the line. What's the year? What's the year where they become irrelevant?
They're all relevant, but they're Red Wings Cups. All the team, not just D-Mac.
What do you mean? The Vegas Golden Knights weren't there. Obviously, they're a formidable foe.
I'm just... What are we even talking about?
What are you talking about? You brought this up. I gave you a question about it.
The Toronto Maple Leafs are one of the worst franchises in NHL history, and you mercifully hate on them, but yet
Yes.
I'm the biggest hater at this
because
network.
they're the Michigan football of hockey. That's why. Because their fans walk around and perceive them as great when there's mountains of data that suggest they're not.
Yeah, but they have no case. That's my thing.
What about Michigan football that's won half a chip since before face masks?
Well, I mean, we never proclaim to be one
Leaders
of the...
and best?
I mean, they're...
greatest college football team of all time? Most wins ever?
Nobody ever... I mean,
most wins ever?
Well, most wins ever, people say that, but that's a terrible argument. But nobody ever says that they're the best college team ever.
Just looking for some consistency.
All right.
That's all. Speaking of consistency, D-Mac, I'm seeing some consistency here with Pro Football Focus and like quarterback rankings. Spenmo, I saw this one on the sheet, and I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Take a
Pro
look.
Football Focus came out with their top 5 NFC quarterbacks, and there it is. Jalen Hurts at 1, Kirk Cousins at 2, Dak Prescott at 3, Matt Stafford at 4, and Derek Carr at 5.
Who's at number 3?
It says Dak. I don't recognize who that is.
I don't know who that is either.
Why don't they use his proper name? Rain Dakota Prescott at number 3. What is it? Why they use everybody else's real name? Why don't they use Rain Dakota Prescott?
Kirk Cousins at number 2 is pretty wild.
That's an insult. You know what, Pro Football Focus? You've crossed the line. Pro Football Focus has crossed the line with this one.
Pro Football Focus, right? Like,
no, I always hear about how great they are. Oh, did you see Pro Football Focus's grades? You know what? We're done with Pro Football Focus on this show. We are done. I'm done with the rankings.
I didn't know
I'm done with the player
I thought
ratings.
That was like Sam Flannel's takes Pro Football Focus, where we have to take.
Well,
we have
Flannel's
to see
here.
where
We
got
to deal with
Here's
it.
the one thing, right? Anybody here not going to say, what am I going to get upset and say, oh, Goff, should be number 2 or whatever? No, here's the beauty. Jalen Hurts is the only one that I fear is better than my quarterback, that my quarterback can't go out and outplay and stuff like that. So I could give who cares what Pro Football Focus says? Somebody said it yesterday that I think the only time Pro Football Focus is ever near what is when they
come out with a pro Aiden
line.
Hutchinson story.
I'm
Who was
just saying,
actually great last year.
actually makes, right? That's blackboard material if you want to use it as motivation for Jared Goff. Not that he needs it, but I like that disrespect. Good, disrespect my quarterback, right? Because you know what? What did we hear? And I'm going to tie it into what exactly Calvin said, what we hear from out of there. You know who's going to be disrespected? Not Jared Goff, the rest of that offense. And saying, that's our guy. You know what? We got to go out. You see what PFF did? Thinks Goff's shit, right? Jahmyr Gibbs, whoever it is, Laporta, your new guys, Montgomery, that offensive line, right? If this team is this team that we think it is, talking culture-wise, this will piss off everybody else other than Jared Goff.
Yeah, because Goff doesn't strike me as that kind of dude, right?
No, he'll see it.
He'll see it.
He's like me, right? Right? Oh,
yeah.
You know what? And either what do I make a career of? Shoving up people's asses, right? Shoving up people's asses. And Ryan's reaction, yes, Tom Brady, I saw that, 7, lucky, D-Mac, 4, lucky. Rather be lucky than good. How many times we heard that, right? But that's, right? So that's where we're at. That's what I love. I use that. That's great motivation.
Woodward Sports.
I mean, it's not, here's the thing. Wouldn't you be more upset if that was Calvin Johnson or somebody you respected? Person that was their list?
It's just, I can't believe it. And Spenmo just put it up there again. Pro Football Focus, top 5 NFC quarterbacks.
Is Stafford going to throw an arm? Is Stafford going to play this year?
Kirk Cousins,
He should,
second.
yeah.
All right, so you know what? And look, D-Mac and I can bloviate about it. I guess I'm compromised because I've been a Jared Goff supporter, and I've given you the reasons
We all
why.
are. Here, let's go
to the source.
Go to
Spenny,
what?
Your thoughts?
I think it's kind of disrespectful. Jared Goff last year had a top 3 NFC season. He should be in that list. And I think Geno Smith should be in that list too, because he had a great season.
In front of Carr.
And he's got even more weapons next year when you look at them adding Jackson Smith and Jigba. So, I don't know. We talked about it on the heavyweights, that stretch of quarterbacks from 9 to 15 in the NFL, where you're looking at Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, Derek Carr, Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, Rain Dakota Prescott, Derek Carr, Daniel Jones, all those guys. I'm not terribly mad if you put one of them over the other one, because they're all pretty similarly grouped together with skill set. But based off what he had last year, based off what he did last year, he should be in there. Based off what Geno Smith did last year, he should be in there.
Brandon Katz on brand says Kyler Murray is better than Jared Goff. Okay, that's noted.
Kyler Murray's not going to play for a lot of next year.
Right. Steve says, to be fair, ranking shouldn't even be a thing in the preseason. But here, you guys want to know what it is? Here's what it is. Real talk. And I'll wrap this into what we talked about before, where we talked about players who has the most pressure on them as a quarterback. And I think Jared Goff has a ton of pressure on him. Internally here in Detroit, because of the Spencer faction that is out there, that's circling the water. They're not striking now.
GTC.
But they're circling the water looking for it. They are. And look, I'm not saying Jared Goff lays awake at night thinking, oh my God, Spencer Raxter doesn't think I'm good. No, I'm not saying that. But the pressure
when he's got Kristen Harper laying next to him, I'd be sleeping like a baby.
Yeah, but given the expectations with what the Lions have, and he's the part of that, the non-negotiable part. For the Lions to be good, Jared Goff has to be there. That's just the way that it is. It's the nature of the position. It's the nature of how good he has been at times in his career, where he's been a 3-time Pro Bowler and all that kind of stuff. That's what it is. There is a ton of pressure on him. But the bottom line is, D-Mac, before you get all that admiration and all that love, and you know this intimately, we've talked about it many times, where you got to bust down that wall. And that wall is winning.
Hell yeah.
And no matter how it closed last year, they did not make the playoffs last year.
Nope.
They did go from 3 wins to 9 wins. Yes, it was a great turnaround. Yes, but they did not make the playoffs last year. So in order to get the shine, I guess, not that they care, but in order to get the shine, you got to go out there and do it. That's the one missing piece.
You got to go out and win. And you know what? With Jared Goff, where he realizes, and this is where the veteran and the leadership comes in, is he realizes, look at what has been built around him. That he knows he doesn't have to do it himself, right? And to play that Jared Goff style inside the Lions system with all the weapons that he's accumulated, with the guys developing around him, I like what he's got, because he realizes that he doesn't have to be Patrick Mahomes. Not expected to be Patrick Mahomes, expected to be Jared Goff, and the consistency to protect the ball, right? And to do what he did last year. Am I out of line to expect another year and to think that he can have a good year as he did last year? And then I want to look at the weapons around him, and hopefully Jameson Williams comes back, and if he produces, that means, right? That means Goff, what? God forbid, he has a better season, right? That's possible. Is this team more talented, right? When it's healthy as far as their offense, with guys with a year more experience, with that offensive line, with that running game, with the versatility, what they have, I believe they are. But to your point, Neal, win games. Mm-hmm. That's where we're at. Expectations to win games. That's why we're talking about the North. That's why we're talking about hosting a home playoff game. It's the first time ever, when we talked about it before the season, that we could be absolutely serious and bought in on it. And I'm going to be bought in because Calvin Johnson's bought in.
That's good enough for Darren McCarty.
That's good enough for Darren McCarty.
It is. It's powerful when you baseline stuff, isn't it?
Feel free to use me as that buffer when it comes to the Red Wings. It makes your fandom a lot easier.
It does make it a lot easier. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. This is Gajan. He says, Neal, whose shoes would you rather be in right now, Tucker or Harbaugh's? Who's got the bigger contract?
And that is the truth, if you ask Neal.
That's whose shoes I'd rather be in. Because as it sits right now, you know, is Michigan going to win the national title this year, Sam Flannel?
Yes, they are.
They are?
Yes.
So for the third year in a row, you're saying that?
No, I think they have a more legitimate case this year. I never said it before 2021. Nobody did. For the record.
So this is the third year in a row you're saying that?
No, I'm saying that this is their best chance this year.
Okay.
Best return.
Are they going to be preseason number one, do you think?
They're going to be. They could be. They actually could be.
I honestly think they might be.
They could be.
I'm sure they probably will.
Yeah.
Right? You drive those TV ratings up, man.
Yeah. And
because it doesn't matter.
As a Michigan State alumni, I'd say Harbaugh. He's got the ultimate job security. Dude's not going anywhere until he wants to.
Right.
Oh, you asked me, I'm taking Harbaugh's job in a second. I mean, that bag's big enough for me, but obviously with the talent you have and the security there, you're life where you want to be.
Brandon Katz says Michigan will not be close to preseason number one. That's just fucking stupid.
They'll be top 4.
At the very least, they'll be 3.
Yeah. And they'll do and guys, look, I've been preaching this for a long time, and I hope you guys have listened to some degree. That will fluctuate. Whoever has the bigger game that week, they slide up. It's just the way that it works. It's always been like that. And then keep an eye on whoever they're playing the next week. Mm-hmm. Magically, they slide up too. It's really weird. I guess they're just lucky. I don't know. But you're lucky also if you go to Strawberry Fest at Big Boy. That's right, because it is back, everybody. The classic breakfast items, those are always in play. The strawberry hot cakes, the mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Not a breakfast person. That's cool. I'm not. But I am a strawberry bacon chicken wrap person. Confirmed. It is very, very good. Want a salad? That's cool. The Summer Splash salad, they do that as well. It's hot outside. We're going to be touching 90 next week, everybody. Believe that or not. Despite the frost warning we had last night, we're going to be touching 90 next week, perhaps. So, Strawberry Fest, guys, it's real. And hey, you're going to cool off with dessert, right? Next Wednesday would be a great time to slide in, get the OG, the one that started it all, the originator of the Strawberry Fest. That's right, the strawberry pie. Or if you're Darren McCarty, you'll get the deep fried vanilla Oreos. And then you can chase it all with a strawberry hot fudge cake. All of that and more. D-Mac, you know. You know.
That's the hat trick.
That
the big
is-
boy hat trick in the DMAC world.
Absolutely. Strawberry Fest. Get to your local big boy today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Pushing up on that second hour of the show. Really? Already? Oh, yeah. Damn, it is popping here on Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxta here in the building, and people are charged up in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Well, you just intimate towards college football.
Well, less than 100 days.
We're inside 100 days.
Maybe the alarm went off for some people. Right?
You know what it's going to be.
You dingled the bell yesterday.
Yeah.
100 days, folks.
Yep. You know what it's going to be.
Everybody's seething.
We're going to be
double digits, not triple.
We're going to be getting people right. Hawaii's home games are shaded towards the end of the year, too.
Hey, so let's dive into that, Neal, because maybe it has to do with the Neal Ruhl Get Right Special, which is at, what's the record right now?
40 and 13.
40 and 13, because as we know, you enjoy, which conference is your favorite?
We are the official Detroit sports talk show of the Mountain West Conference.
Mountain West Conference, which means we're going to have to get our boy, Coach Brennan, on from San Jose.
Brennan, we'll get him back on.
The GOAT. Because Neal's getting ready. So when does it, have you looked at the schedule when the first weekend or first games, are they out yet as far
yes,
as
they are, as a matter
is?
of fact. The week 0 is kind of light. It's like there's like a Big Ten game, like a conference game that kind of heads it up, so you know it's light.
Mm-hmm. There we go again, week 0.
Week 0.
Only Scott
is Nebraska playing?
I believe they are.
Of course they are.
Week 2 is electric, though, by the way.
Week 1 or week 2?
I don't know.
Like the week after week 0?
I guess.
Is week 2, week 3?
Well, they do week 0, week 1, week 2.
Okay.
So week 3.
Well, week 2. Because it's
week 2, third week.
Third week, yeah.
It's sort of like your birth, right? Your first year of being born,
you're still
not
0.
a year old.
Yeah, you're still 0 years old.
Like I'm in my 52nd year, being 51. So they sort of do it. It's so on brand for college sports.
Yes.
Yeah. I believe the week 0. What do they got? They got LSU, Florida State. I think is like the headliner of it.
That should be a great
I can't remember if that's a Sunday night or
Mason
or
Leach
night.
says week 0 is Nebraska at Minnesota. Barn burner. Good old Big Ten matchup.
Because hold on. Because I have a critical college football question for Sam Flannel, but I do want to address this. And I'm going to ask this. I'm going to ask it today. Maybe in a month I'll ask it again. When we get to August, I'll ask it again. And then the night before, I'm really going to ask it one more time. Can we all refrain from jumping on Twitter and proclaiming that either Nebraska or Minnesota, whoever's winning that game, is back and is, quote, going to be a factor in the Big Ten? Because they're not. They're not. There are a couple of mid-programs that will go to the Pinstripe Bowl. That's their ceiling. Can we do that? Can we make that commitment, D-Mac? Can you ask the people out there, please refrain? Because remember the tweets last year? Nebraska, Northwestern?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, Northwestern's back. No, they stink.
Even though they had Pete Skoronsky in Double-A and an NFL draft running back, Evan Hull,
right.
win.
Hey, can I ask a question? Like, just why we're talking about this, because you always talk about the Big Ten being only 2 teams and stinking. What will show you that is different? Is there anything that will show you that the Big Ten is better this year, or do you have no expectations? Because
I would lean towards Iowa scoring like double digits in a game against a non-D1.
Well,
against a team that is an actual 1A.
Michigan guys to their team to.
They have.
So I mean, don't you expect Iowa with? Would they add McNamara?
I'll never expect anything from Iowa.
Yeah. And I'm
never
just saying,
that.
Is there something out there, or is it just the Big Ten's garbage no matter what happens?
You got to go win. Like beat some teams.
Okay, but
beat some teams other than yourself.
But you don't expect that.
No, I never expect that.
There's no sleeper team or expectations of this.
No, because there never
so it's
is.
Still just Michigan, Ohio
Yeah,
State.
Michigan, Ohio State. Just wake me up in November when it's at the end. That's it.
Green Day.
But for real, like that's all that there is in this conference.
I just wonder what is it to watch and look for, and there really is.
How about this, D-Mac? I'll say that something's changed if we get to the Big Ten championship game and Michigan or Ohio State's not a 17-point favorite in the game. How about that? Is that fair, Sam Flannel?
Close.
Yeah. Is that fair? Is that a fair ask?
Yeah, it's fair, but to also be fair, the two teams that have crept around in the last couple of years or so, Penn State and Michigan State, they're all in the same division of the Big Ten. The Big Ten West has been terrible for
who's going to win that? Who's coming out of the West this year?
Nebraska, right? Matt Ruhl?
I would probably actually lean towards Iowa or Wisconsin. I'm not gonna die on that hill or anything, but those are the two that I would probably look
What
for.
about this? Jack Harrington says Nebraska is back, according to Sam Flannel. Are we still on that?
No, I got burned.
Is
last
Matt
year.
Ruhl better than Scott Frost?
Yes, he's proven. He did it at Baylor. But then again, Scott Frost did it at Central Florida. So
I will say that though. I will. Like with the Matt Ruhl thing, because he's got a cool last name, number one.
That's true.
But number two, I'll never say Nebraska's back, because Nebraska being back is like pasting Florida for the national title. Like, that's back.
Yeah.
They ain't ever going to be back. Like, can they win 8 games in the Big Ten? I guess. That's cool.
Okay? I guess it's time to get excited at the beginning of the season. Is Nebraska one with Scott with
Matt Ruhl?
Is that a team that you have your eye on, because it's
No.
mostly teams that
Not
make
yet.
coaching changes?
Yeah, not yet. I'm curious to see what Coach Prime's going to do at Colorado. They play Nebraska week 2.
Where did Lincoln not Lincoln
week
Riley.
2 or week third game?
The
0,
third
1,
week of
2.
games.
Why can't I remember his name? The head coach from
0, 1, 2.
Cincinnati.
Luke Fickell.
Luke Fickell
He
at
went to
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, that's what
Yeah.
it is. I think Wisconsin, he's a good coach.
He is a good coach.
Yeah.
Luke Fickell is a good coach. Like, they got some decent coaches. I don't want to hear you're back when you're 9-4.
Well, that's back in the West. That's like first place in the West.
Okay.
We won the Big Ten West.
I know.
You beat a grandma in a race.
yeah, exactly. Critical question for Sam Flannel. Right here, right now. And I do want to go around the room on this one.
Right now.
You and your lovely wife. All right? You live in you have a house, right?
Condo.
Okay.
Yes.
You make mortgage payments on your condo.
Yes.
Of course, Sam Flannel wouldn't want to cut his own grass.
Yeah. All right.
I don't blame him.
Lazy.
So, your condo payments on the line, the mortgage payments on the line, and you got to be right. Who are you going to pick to win the national title next year, Alabama or Michigan?
Between those two,
Yes.
I would say Michigan. Alabama has lost so much to the NFL, including Bryce Young, Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Branch, two people we are intimately familiar with, and Will Anderson. I saw that Jalen Milroe, when he came in and played in the Texas A&M game, he looked awful.
Did not look good.
I actually think that Alabama is a team that could maybe lose 2 or 3 games. I do not predict that they will make the college football playoff. They're losing too much. I know Alabama often reloads, but the players that they lost, those are the 4 best players on their team, gone. And then you got Jordan Battle for good measure, Eli Ricks, all gone.
And the
Bama takes a
reason
step
I
back.
asked is because I figured you would kind of go down that road. So you're counting out Nick Saban. He's a non-factor.
No, I'm not saying he's a non-factor. I'm just saying that going into next year, I would trust Michigan to actually get in the dance over Alabama.
Well, I would too, because of the road that they have
And
to
that's
get there.
fair, and that goes into it. You have to be in it to win it, not to be cliche, but Alabama, there could be a couple losses on their schedule, especially with all the players they're losing.
Wyatt Bear says, I'd buy Nebraska stock right now. Here we go again,
There we
everybody.
go.
Here we go again.
Well, you know what? It might be the time. There's no Scott Frost. I mean,
Yeah.
it ain't going to freeze over like it did last year, right, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, buying Nebraska stock, you could win some money if they just win 6 games and go to a bowl game. This might actually be the time to buy Nebraska stock.
All right. The national champion will come out of the Big Ten Conference or the SEC?
Big Ten.
Spencer Raxter.
SEC.
Darren McCarty.
SEC until I see it.
Okay, Spencer Raxter
I mean, I'm not,
and Darren
I know
McCarty.
Sam's not afraid of Alabama. He's afraid of TCU. But, I mean, is in Georgia, I mean, they keep losing guys and stuff like this, but until somebody proves that they can take down the SEC, I mean, maybe this is Michigan, the way that they're built, best chance. Who knows?
Between those two, I'm saying SEC, but overall, Pac-12.
Neal, you nailed it.
Pac-12.
Neal, you nailed it, though. Right? The schedule's set up for Michigan to get there, but the SEC schedule's set up for the team to be prepared when they get there.
Oh, so that's a real thing.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Huh, weird.
It's tough to play, two of the biggest games, like sort of back, like when your biggest game of the year is Ohio State, and that's the only big game. In the SEC, doesn't matter who you are, you're playing big games every week. And to me, at the end of the day, that's the biggest reason why we see SEC championships more times than not.
DMAC and Spenmo. After Flannel Sam has bankrupted his family and lost the house due to a foreclosure because he lost his money betting on Michigan to win the national title over the SEC, can him and his lovely wife stay with you guys?
Yeah.
Either of you. Can you guys
I'll take
rotate?
The dog. I'll take the dog.
You'll take the dog in? As long as you don't bring it to a restaurant, indoor restaurant. That's
no,
cool.
not at all. It's a doodle, isn't it? Yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay.
So,
we'll
I
make
got the
sure
doodle.
we'll make sure that Sam's wife and the dog are taken care of. Sam, I don't know.
Cold world.
Dog house for you.
Chuck says, Neal, Michigan has a better chance to make it to the playoff, but if Bama gets in, I'd bet on them over Michigan to win it.
Who wouldn't?
Sam could always stay at my house.
I appreciate that, Spence, but I'm not going to be wrong, so I'll be just fine.
I do have room in my car.
You do now?
Yeah, the trunk is huge in that thing. It's awesome.
There you go, Sam Flannel. So we got you covered. So you can make outlandish claims, and even when you lose your house, it won't be a big deal, man.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to be right on this one. I'll just say that. I'm very, very confident. Especially about my Alabama pick. I am very, very confident about that one. Alabama's going to take a step
I don't
back.
know. If I were you, I'd buy some insurance on that Michigan pick. Yeah, I'll do it for you.
Absolutely. Swiss insurance, of course, if you're going to buy it. And did you like our draft picks? Did the GM do his job?
Yes.
Be a boss and take control of your insurance options. Draft a company that will give you the most cost-effective plan and protect you like the best O-line in the league. Email Swiss Insurance today at mark@swissins.com or just visit their website, swissins.com.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Jumper! Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. Happy to have you all along for the ride. And, God, it felt good to talk about college football, didn't it? Just for that
and
little
it
7
did, and
minutes.
don't forget, last segment of the show today, it's an Ask Flannel. So maybe some of the things he's been talking about has stirred up a question. Please get it in for our 12:50 segment.
Yep.
I look forward to that. It's going to put me off into a great weekend.
There you go. Let's go Red Wings Sparty says Mountain West, baby. That's right. I'll be making y'all some money.
Mountain
be out
West.
there in the streets.
Shout out.
Neal, I gotta
it.
think, just off the top of my head, if honestly, if it was tracked over the past couple of seasons, just Mountain West betting, you're probably top 5 in the country.
Gotta be.
Easily. Like just on betting on that, they should, if they did a PFF, then they'd screw it up. But we just saw that list. But your percentage just betting on that conference, and the reason is because Neal loves to enjoy that Saturday night bourbon, the bailout game. We all go to the last game and the bailout game, but can you make it formidable? This man here can make it worth your while, that Sunday morning hangover doesn't hurt as much because there's a couple shekels back in your account.
Absolutely. That Sunday morning hangover is just purely physical. It's not financial.
That's
I've
it.
removed the financial
because
component.
the financial physical hangover
is a bad.
Oh, crushes. That's the bag man. So we and it's that dominance. Now, if you've been around for the last couple of years and realized what Neal does is that it's a vibe, and he'll tell you on the feels, but when he feels it, what is it, 40?
40-13. Documented, right, Sam Flannel?
That is right. It is a phenomenal record. I wish I would have got it at the ground floor.
I can count 4 of your losses that weren't bet on that conference.
Yeah.
I wonder what your record is. It's probably like 35 and like 8.
It's kind of like the 84 Tigers, probably 35-5.
Oh.
You know?
Could be close. It's put up in the argument. I don't know if it's that good, but it's humming. Anything over 70% is like, that's national. Guys, I bet you the national pontificators are going to be looking in.
Because they force it.
Yeah.
People force it. I do not force it.
You do not force it.
I do not force it. It is all about discipline and just working for for That's what it is.
That's it. We're here for you. He's here for you.
I don't parachute in and give you these games and then, airlift myself back out. I'm up at 1:30. These guys know. I send the text. I'm up at 1:30. I live it with you guys. Speaking of that, we had some news drop during the show concerning the Detroit Tigers. No, not a personnel move when you're 2.5 games back in the division for a division that would be easily winnable. No, not that, but it's a financial move, I guess, by the Tigers. And the Detroit Tigers have announced, D-Mac, that they have a new sponsor on their jersey. That's right, Meijer.
Wow.
It will have patches on the sleeves of the home and the away uniforms, Michigan-based brand, and the patch is consistent with the team colors. And I would imagine that this isn't going to be well received, but this is where we are.
Welcome to 2023. We're going Euro. Reminds me of those hockey jerseys over there that if you watch over right now in Europe with all the sponsorships across the helmets and the pads and stuff like this.
They've been doing it for years.
They got to pay the contract somehow.
Yeah.
So here's the one thing, right? I'm always glasses not half empty or half full. It's refillable, right? At least it's a Michigan company. It makes sense. It's a homegrown, Meijer brand and stuff like that, so you can take pride in. So, I mean, I don't really care. I'm sort of over it. You look at, you watch a hockey game now and there's digital things on the boards and stuff. It's just the way it is. It's 2023. Get with the times. You can be old guy, get off my lawn, but...
Chuck Brewer says, if it means the salary base for players goes up, I don't care. Well, hey, easy.
Yeah, but why, Chuck? Because he's going to spend. Yeah, exactly. You have to be in a place where they want to spend properly. So...
Yeah.
I wonder what the
NFL doesn't need to sell out. Hey Now says everybody's selling out. NFL next. NFL doesn't need to sell out. Well, they
invented this game.
Yeah.
You're gonna watch Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, the NFL has already sold out to the tune of $1 billion a year.
Hey Neal, it's like Rake says, everything's going NASCAR, baby. It's all going NASCAR. It's all about advertising, streaming, this, that, the other thing. Yeah.
Super Bowl pay-per-view.
There's going to be more before there's less. Does that make sense?
100%.
There's going to be more on the unit. There's going to be, hey, I just wonder who gets their inner thigh tattoo first, Spenny, or there'll be something on the pants of the Tigers, right? An advertisement.
Can we chat poll that real quick? Because people seem to be positive about it. Like they seem like they don't care. Do you support an advertisement on the Tigers jersey? Because here's where it is. The Tigers jersey is one of the iconic jerseys in Major League Baseball. Is that fair?
Oh,
that's fair.
Yes.
The home whites.
The home whites are.
Yeah.
The logo is one of the
plain old D.
The iconic logo. One of the iconic
old
logos.
English D, as it's known.
I would even say it's one of the iconic logos in sport.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
It's right there, recognizable worldwide with the New York Yankee and the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And, it's just, for me, because if the people are accepting of it on the Tigers jersey, then I think we've turned a corner. as far as people being receptive, people being open to advertising on jerseys. I think that finally we've cracked, I guess, because people used to flip TF out about this kind of stuff in the past. When DMAC, as you said, they've been doing this in Europe since the beginning of sports.
Well, I think they figured out follow the money and the advertisement. Look at how they've gone digital now. Digital with scoreboard. I mean, that you could put so many more up. Right, it's everything out. They used to be watching a hockey game. There was nothing on the billboards. Now there's advertisements everywhere, whether it's digital or not. Right, I always remember smashing Lemieux's face and blowing it up on the Comerica Bank sign.
Hell yeah!
Right in front of the bench. I mean, that just sticks in my mind. Maybe just because Mark Gregory, the president at the time, had me sign it and put it over his desk. Another story. But the fact that this is the way we're going. Because the money's out there. And with all the different companies, and think about this with gambling, streaming, all this different ways to watch it, people got to get it out. So now it's just to the fact that once you cave in with one thing and it looks like baseball's going that way. I know it's been done in the minor leagues everywhere else. You go to minor league baseball parks and stuff like that, a lot more advertising. So I expect a lot more before. I mean, this is just the beginning.
Tip of the iceberg.
Like I said, for me, I don't really care, but I like the fact that it's a local Michigan company. That's what gives me the jam there. It's not like, something innocuous that I see on a commercial every time I turn the TV on.
Yeah, because I'm down with Meijer. Like, that's where I do my grocery shopping and buy my gas and stuff like that. Like, my only complaint about Meijer is you got to step up the bourbon aisle at the one in Washington Township because it's less than. There is a bourbon spot. There is a Meijer that has great bourbon.
Have you filled
Have I gone up the ladder?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
You know what? Maybe we'll have to write them a letter.
No, because there is a Meijer that's it's on point. I'm not going to tell who it is because I don't want people running through there.
Hoarding
I'm hoarding it, no doubt.
You're the guy that goes in to the back, finds those bourbon, sits them aside, puts the cheap one in front of them, so you know where it always is when you go back.
Yeah,
I know you.
No, do your own groundwork. I'm not doing everybody's groundwork for them. Steve says, does it allow them to use more money to spend on players? What's the actual benefit of doing jersey advertisements? Well, Steve, I can kind of dumb it down like this. In this hand, you have no money, and there's no ads on the jersey. In this hand, there's money with ads on the jersey. So they're going to choose this hand every single time.
What they do with the money, though, it would be a lot easier to accept if they said, if Chris Ilitch came out and said, yeah, we did this deal because we wanted to put it more into the team. Unfortunately, I don't believe that's the case because his sword was drawn when he brought Scott Harris in and decided that you're going to have to rebuild this from the ground up. We're not going to do it like my dad did it and pay for everything.
Because I am of the belief that they chose the less expensive route to go about team development. Now, if it worked, we don't care, right? Like if we were the Rays, would we care?
No.
We wouldn't care.
No.
Now, maybe the Rays, like this year, after having been to they're fairly often in the play, pretty regularly. They're in the playoffs.
Yeah. In a tough-ass division, too.
100%. And they've gotten to a World Series, and they didn't cash it in. Maybe if we were Rays fans this year, now the Rays don't have fans, so like you don't hear these things. But if the Rays were the Tigers, would we be asking those questions of ownership right now to say, hey, we're great, we're in first place, we have the best record in the majors, we go to the playoffs every year, despite the fact that we spend, let me get the number right. I just want to
7.2 million.
Yeah. Let me see what the Rays payroll is this year. The total Rays payroll is $76 million this year.
Whereas opposed to the Mets are
$330 million. But whatever.
Oh my God.
Okay, let me say it another way.
Poor Mets.
The Tampa Bay Rays, $76 million payroll.
Yeah.
Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander, $84 million.
Oh.
Like, that's another way to say it.
Damn,
that's right.
If we were Rays fans right now, would we be saying, hey, go get us over the top?
Yes. They need to cash one in at some point. There have been consistent winners. They've been to 2 World Series and lost both, and they've seen their state mates, the Florida Marlins, who came in at about the same time, they've actually cashed in on 2 World Series, but they haven't been consistent winners. They've won one and then they've torn it down.
State mates.
But I would rather be a Marlins fan than a Rays fan, at least from the beginning. Because the Rays, I mean, they got to win one at some point.
And they got a way better stadium.
Now they do, absolutely.
They took the pool out.
Oh, yeah, but the Rays have the worst stadium in all professional sports.
Coliseum.
Well, we're going to be on the Vegas Strip checking them out pretty soon. So that's been handled.
Yeah, let's go.
No, the Oakland Coliseum, D-Mac, not the Coliseum.
Oh, damn. Sorry, I was watching golf. Let's go.
I'm down for both. I'm down for both.
Coliseum.
Yeah, you just
perk up.
You just snap right into it, huh?
Dude, is the Oakland Coliseum the only bad Coliseum?
That we know of.
That we know of. I mean, anyways.
I have a good time at every other Coliseum. Pockets are a little lighter at the end of the night, but it's still a good time.
It's happened.
And now, coming to the stage.
Well, that's right. Now it's time for Neal Ruhl for Planet Fitness. All right. Hey, we're here at the Planet Fitness Studios, home of the judgment-free zone. Access to your home club, $1 down, $10 a month. That's it. That's all, guys. Now I'll take it a step further. Tell you, I work out at Planet Fitness every day. I was on that treadmill, getting my hour on the treadmill in, mentally projecting myself somewhere else, watching TV, watching SportsCenter, listening to podcasts, all that stuff. And guess what? No one around me had to wait for access to a treadmill because there's an army of treadmills at Planet Fitness. There's an army of weights. You're never going to wait for anything at a Planet Fitness. Black Card membership, $24.99 a month. You basically own Planet Fitness. You get access to over 2,400 of them around the world. There's over 50 of them in Metro Detroit alone. So if your schedule takes you different places, there's always a Planet Fitness that you can go get that work in. Some of you are paying $50, $60, $70 a month for a gym membership. Why? Because they have a rock wall? Come on, guys. Planet Fitness is the only play. I've been there three years myself. I couldn't imagine being at any other gym. And don't forget the high school summer pass going on. Planet Fitness is something really cool they're doing. High schoolers ages 14 to 19 can work out for free all summer long from May 15th till August 31st. So that's what you do. You go to planetfitness.com. You can join there, or you can pull in the parking lot. You pass a couple on the way home. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Where your fitness is essential.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. Happy to have you all along for the ride. People are still juicing about college football.
Less than 100 days, how could they not be?
Yeah.
It's coming around the mountain.
Well, then let me tell you guys this. You're going to like tomorrow, on the biggest of Big Package Fridays, we will have a college football nickel package.
I'm shopping at the bit for that one.
I will concoct myself. So we will do that. I'm doing D-Max 5 for fighting. I'm going to do the Tigers one, and I'm going to line up the college football one.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah. I'll do Lions and Spenny Sportsbook.
Spenny Sportsbook. We need a fast break.
Flannel can do fast break and NFL. So
that's 7.
How many breaks do we have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Let's do it.
Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
That'll
6,
be enough
7, 8.
because it'll get sidetracked.
Yeah.
For one or two
you need
segments.
a segment buffer zone.
Yeah, you need a buffer zone to converse.
You do.
Because you know that the Uncle Joe will peek his head in there some greasy way, and something will go off.
I'm sure it will, but you do need a buffer segment. And I've been looking all over, and the reason I'm looking all over right now for Monty Williams' contract with the Phoenix Suns. For those of you that did not catch the news yesterday, it was widely reported that the Detroit Pistons, quote, made a big money offer at Monty Williams. This comes from the fine folks at Real Bully Ball. The Pistons, after losing the lottery, made a big money offer to former Suns head coach Monty Williams. The offer was, quote, unsuccessful. And, of course, that's via the Stein line as well. And my question to you is, and I think that for the Pistons, they check the box, right? Like, at that point, D-Mac, what else can you do?
That's all you can do. Here's one thing, whether you're talking about Monty Williams or Budenhauser or established coaches that are out there right now, they're still getting paid, right? Most likely that they don't want to jump back into the fire or something else, especially in rebuilding an organization. They want to take a year off, recollect, see how the dust settles and stuff like this. So, no, I mean, I give Troy Weaver, that's what I wanted to hear, right? It almost shocked me if Monty Williams did take whatever deal it was, because you expect these guys to step away. So what does this mean moving forward? Does this mean that, because here's the one thing, right? What do the Pistons have to offer, right? Hope, right? Hope in the fact that they have these talented young kids that hope is going to be something. I don't think Monty Williams or any veteran guys want that right now. They don't want to coach hope. They want to coach structure and to take a year off without it and get paid. What's he getting paid?
It's gotta be north of $7 million.
So that's what I'm saying. Are you gonna, we talk about it all the time?
And I don't know the language.
Why
and sometimes
would you jump back? Would anybody else deep dive back into another hornet's nest or something? Would you want to get into something to start to especially a rebuild? No, the thing that would make sense if he wanted to coach right away would go to an established team, like a Milwaukee or something like that. But it sounds like he just wants to take a step away. So my thinking is, okay, who is the right guy for the job now? And does that mean maybe down the road, if you've built something here in the next year, you have an opportunity to go get a veteran guy? So to your point, Neal, yes, everything check the boxes of how I want Troy Weaver to operate, what I expect out of him, and it's making those phone calls. Even if the answer he knows is no, you still made a try.
Yeah, and originally, I guess, Monty Williams signed a 5-year contract for $25 million, but he signed an extension last year. So that they won, so that number was kicked up to some degree.
Even if it is $5 million, you're gonna have to.
And I don't know the language of it, D-Mac, and as far as coaches go, a lot of times they will say, hey, the contract's guaranteed, but there could be a clause if you take another job, then we're off the hook. Yep. And,
we find that in football a lot, right?
Yeah, and if it were me, and I think for 99% of the people out there, if it were me, then, I'm going to sit it out. I'm going to sit it out for a year or two.
That took you
Drive
about
my kids
3
to school.
extra seconds to answer that to the truth.
Yeah.
You
know
did
what I'm saying?
For dramatic effect.
100%. I'm a showman, D-Mac. I'm an entertainer.
Yes, you are.
So, it is I'm going to take my kids to school and all that stuff. And then when that gets old, then you jump back into coaching, but you got to be coaxed to do it. You use that as leverage in your next negotiation. That's the way you do it. Now, D-Mac, you don't do these types of things, so you've never done that.
No. Just know where the power is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I was always wondering. Maybe that, like I said that Juicy Jeff Iafredi, we were talking before the show. I go, man, that's the one thing I didn't get is to get hired as a coach just to get fired to get paid for not coaching. So,
yeah,
I don't know anything.
Must be nice. Like Cliff Kingsbury, wasn't he chilling on a beach in Cabo with a baddie?
I think Taiwan or the Philippines.
Yeah.
He dipped other side of the world.
I'm getting
Big
paid
fan of Cliff.
Yeah, I'm getting paid
person,
$10
not
million
the
a year with a dime piece chilling on a beach. Sounds like a good year to me.
And he just got hired somewhere too, didn't he?
USC. Yeah.
USC, right?
Offensive assistant or something like that.
So that's probably the position where he gets his big money, and then he goes back and gets to be around football and have fun.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was
and
worked
at a
in
program. Listen, USC, isn't that one of the dark horses with Caleb Williams, the quarterback, Heisman Trophy, hopeful again and stuff like this? Like USC is sort of a dark horse, so people are going to have a spotlight on it and have another football mind out there.
And here's the deal too. Look, and this may be a hot button take. I don't know, but I am of the opinion. You can say what you want about Tom Gores and say what you want about the Pistons. They gave Dwayne Casey they went and got Dwayne Casey.
Yeah.
They gave him $7 million a year, $35 million contract, who was the NBA Coach of the Year.
Got fired.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's wild.
But you can. I am of the opinion if Tom Gores fired. If the NBA said, here's the threshold it would take, write this check and we'll give you the NBA championship. I think he would write it.
I think so too.
Like he wants to win.
He's not afraid to spend.
No.
Yeah.
And that's all I want out there. It's like Tom Gores doesn't strike me as that, D-Mac. I believe there isn't a sprinkle of Illich, in the 2010s where if he could write a check that would guarantee a championship, I think he would write the check.
If anybody reminds me of Mr. Illich as far as going out and paying to make the team better, if it's about money, then Tom Gores reminds me of Mr. Illich when it comes to the checkbook. He's not afraid to write the big check, right? In that aspect. Now, some of where the money goes and the decisions and putting people in power, I think he's gotten better. We don't see him as much, and he's sort of letting Troy Weaver cook. But the fact is, at the end of the day, when Troy Weaver goes to his boss and says, hey, I need you to write a check, Tom Gores is more or less saying, how much?
Right.
Instead of find a different way.
And that's, I guess, really, that's all you can ask
That's
for
all you
from
can
an
ask
ownership,
from an
right?
owner, right? Like, what? Is that not what? How do you view Mark Cuban as? You view him as a great owner? Right?
Yes.
Right, exactly. That Gores gives me sort of the Cuban vibes. Right? And the Cuban vibes also too is how what don't we see what we used to see? Mark Cuban every game that Dallas was in or whatever, like front and center. He sort of stood back. I noticed
Getting fined by the league every other week.
Mark Cuban's the man.
Noticed the same about Gores. Like if anybody, Gores is cut out of that entrepreneurial Mark Cuban,
which is what he is.
Yep.
So
it
it's
makes
on
sense.
brand.
Those guys know what they want. I mean, you look at like Shark Tank. I mean, the NBA is a bigger version of Shark Tank.
WoodwardSports.com chat through our Brandon Katz says Monty Williams is not a good coach. Buttonholzer and Nurse are better coaches than him. Ask Chris Paul if Monty Williams is a good coach. You cannot deny what Monty Williams is able to do with guards. You can't deny it.
I think all the names that he mentioned are kind of at the same
level.
The same level if you're ranking coaches. I mean, two of them are champions. Monty Williams made a finals. Like, they're all sought-after names. You could all even argue that they shouldn't have been fired from their respective positions. It's crazy that they're all even available at this point.
Yeah, right. Chad Fisher. And I'm going to circle back with you guys. And I asked you guys this question earlier this week, but this always pops up. Chad Fisher says, maybe not Gores, but the other guy that's not as good as Holmes, who can find talent, is also somebody that they need. But Chad, I checked in with people on this. Again, Spenny, you're a basketball guy.
Yes.
Are you happy with Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, and Jalen Duren?
I am.
That's 75% of the drafts he's done, right?
Yeah.
Is that a good hit rate? You're calling it a hit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The trades leave something to be desired. This is an important. This would, naming the head coach, what he does in the offseason, what he does in the draft, I think will make or break it for me.
Okay. Sam Flannel, are you happy with those three draft picks?
I am, but I'm livid with the 2020 draft, which is also fair.
So he's got a bad 100. He's
also,
got 100%.
No, all three picks in that first round were bad. Every single one of them in the 2020 draft.
I'm not giving him credit for Cade either. It was the number one overall pick.
Well, he's getting blamed for not winning the lottery. Why did he get credit for winning it?
Yeah. No, I don't blame him for not winning it either. But I'm saying making the draft pick of Cade Cunningham, that was a no-brainer.
I feel like there was a little bit of a Jalen Green, Evan Mobley movement. I give him
Jalen Green. Jalen Green said the Pistons told him they were going to draft him.
Yeah, Jalen Green could go frost his tips and chill in China again.
D-Mac, are you happy with Cade, Jaden Ivey, and Jalen Duren?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Now they gotta be on the floor. I'm not happy that they haven't been on the floor together, but I
And that's
think
on
that
them.
they got some. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And screw and continue Jalen Green. Yeah. Glad you're not here.
Got to do that. And then there's always this one, Steve. Bring in Bill Lambier.
No thanks.
You can't have a Pistons discussion with not riding off.
Same with
on that
Chauncey.
one.
Like,
Did win a championship as a player and a coach.
What is today? Thursday?
Thursday.
All right. What could be better than watching celebrities like Darren McCarty, Glenn Edwards play golf? Playing golf yourself and being treated like a celebrity. That's what. Stop into any Randy Wise Automotive Team dealership for your chance to play golf like a celebrity. VIP transportation, free golf at one of Michigan's best tracks, and a tasty steak after. Compliments of Fairway Packing Company. Make the wise choice. Get to Randy Wise today for your chance to win. It's a Randy Wise Automotive Team Celebrity Golf Tour.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Coming down the stretch here on Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rackstock. Here with you, and happy to have you along for the ride in the Big D Energy and the woodwardsports.com chat thread. And yeah, we're kind of wrapping right now. Catspot and the woodwardsports.com chat thread says Vegas won the WNBA title last year. So good to see Catspot make an appearance here. And what?
That's the best one. That is so true. That is so true. Catspot GPT. That's just like the chat bot, except it corrects itself.
All right, there we go. I'm glad I could give the... Brandon's a good sport about it. Let's go Red Wings Party says error. John Mayer says, Neal, try the Fox and Odin bourbon. Best Michigan bourbon there is. That is on my radar. The problem is, like, when you talk about Michigan bourbon, I'm very big on the New Holland beer barrel bourbon, especially this cask strength single barrel that they make.
Barrel.
It is electric.
Just like MJF's belt.
And it's 129 proof.
Whoa.
You got to clear your calendar. If you're going to have more than two of those, you got to make sure your morning is light. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is. It's very, very good. So I am on that. It is on my list, though, John, to try. I got a lot of them that I want to try. But I also really enjoy the ones I like. So,
and that's the thing. That's the thing.
That's what
you'll figure it out. You'll figure.
I've been working on it for 3 years.
Figure it out. Did I just notice that our proverbial Detroit sports media legend Terry Foster and his son are on a boys trip, and they are hitting the bourbons. I saw a picture.
Yeah. Did you see the picture I sent of Century Bar down in Dayton? Go if you guys haven't, and you don't have to follow me or anything. Just go to my Twitter and look at the last tweet I put up about Terry Foster and his son, Lil B, are going on the Bourbon Trail to Kentucky. They're stopping in Dayton at the Century Bourbon Bar. It is the greatest bourbon bar in America. That is as one who goes into pretty much every bourbon bar he can find. That, as my good associate Darren McCarty would say, is a sexual statement. Go look at the picture of this bourbon bar, and that's not even all of them. That wasn't even like the good shelf that's on the other side, where they have a separate, smaller bar.
Yeah, it looked like it was something. It looked like the Church of Bourbon.
It is. That's a great way to put it. It is the
like if they had an organ there. The way that it looks like they'd be an organ playing or whatever, the Church of Bourbon.
It is the ground zero of the bourbon
my
game.
point being is that you and your friend T. Fossil, you always figure out. You seem to dive into new bourbon together. Oh, have you tried that? No, I haven't, young man. Well, you're a fine young man. Let me have a glass. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out.
Wyatt Bear says, actually, Uncle Nearest is good. It is. It is. One of my buddies got me onto that when I tried that. Wyatt Bear also says yellow corn, baby. Easy, Wyatt. Easy. D-Mac will vouch for this. The shelves are getting a little low off the ground when you start talking about yellow corn. For me, I'm not saying that. I'm not going to be Sam Flannel and say I'm better than you. I'm not going to do that. We've learned our lesson from that. It's not my cup of bourbon. Let's just say it like that.
There you go. There you go. Well, you're older. Your knees don't bend that low. You can't get down to the lower.
I'm not going to look into the camera.
Your eye level and above.
There you go.
That's just that's.
And I am
self-awareness.
And I am 6'2".
Self-awareness. Spenny, you and I back in the day, we'll crawl in there on our hands and knees and work our way up.
Give me some Black Velvet. Give me some R&R. Nothing wrong with that. $7 fifth. Come on now. Yeah.
Evan Williams. So there you go.
Yeah.
What's that tell you?
They do make a single barrel bottled in bond it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, it's $39.99, which Evan Williams. See, that's like.
What are you doing? Holy cow! That's like 2.5 times what you get a regular fifth for. Back in the day.
I did have a good time.
I'm going by 2015 prices.
Yeah, I did have a good time at a Michigan State tailgate with a bottle of Evan Williams.
Hey, that sounds like a great time.
It was.
Give me a bottle of E&J.
The problem was I went to the Penn State game, I forget, 2010? 20. Penn State just smashed them.
Yeah. They're playing in Ford Field this year.
They are. You know what, real quick? That rattled everybody. Why?
I don't know. Well, fucking Valenti's just a miserable human being and gets mad about everything, so that's why he was mad about it. I like it. I'm cool with it. I understand, like, they don't have senior day, so they're not going to be in.
Here, but you just make it the game before.
Yeah. It's not that big of a deal.
D-Mac, what don't the people... I explained this yesterday, and we spent 4 minutes on it yesterday, and then it blew up on social media. It blew up everywhere. D-Mac, if you want these big checks from the television networks, guess what you got to do?
Well, you nailed the why. The why is because they're getting paid more to go down there than it is to stay at home and stuff like this. And like I refer to Spenny, who is a Sparty, and how does he feel? And there's excitement, something a little bit different to go down to Ford Field and downtown. So, I mean, I get it for the traditionalists and stuff like this. But again, if we're talking about the Tigers getting an advertisement of Meyer on their jerseys, this is part of the evolution of sports into the real world of where's the money, right? Where's the money? Now, does MSU not have to pay bills? Pay their coach stuff. They need to figure out how to make money, and this is a strictly
his money.
Like you said, Neal, yesterday, a business decision, and it's not that far away. They didn't take a game away from you.
Yeah, that's what people were like. Oh, they're losing home field advantage.
How many people?
They're still in fucking Michigan. Like what? There's still going to be home field advantage.
I'll tell you guys this, and this is real world application. All right, the highest attended basketball game in the history of the Palace of Auburn Hills, Michigan State versus Oakland, in 2015 or 2016. I don't remember. The highest attended basketball game in the history of Little Caesars Arena, Michigan State versus Oakland, the last time they played
There's a lot of State fans in the Metro Detroit area.
There will be more people at that game at Ford Field than there would be at Spartan Stadium.
For sure. I'm going to be there. Like, it's either an hour-and-a-half drive to East Lansing or a 10-minute drive to Ford Field. Like,
you will be there.
I will be there.
If I'm in town, I may go.
Yeah.
And, I love it. Corey Berry says it's not a Thanksgiving weekend, is it? Yes, it's on Black Friday. Black Friday night. And here's the deal, guys. The streaming service, right? The deal that they have with NBC and Peacock that the Big Ten didn't necessarily sign, seal, and deliver. We can get into that tomorrow. They wanted night games. Michigan and Ohio State and Penn State said, we don't want to play night games. We don't know. We're giving up a home night game. The Big Ten Conference went to Michigan State and said, hey, we like these checks, right? We need this. I'm sure they made it worth their while to do it. That I don't know on the record, but I'm sure they did. You want all the money, you have to do these things.
And I could buy some beers while I'm there, too.
And you can't do that at Spartan Stadium.
No, you cannot.
Which is incredible to me.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense when I think about it, but like,
no, it doesn't.
Spenny, if you're a student, right?
Yeah.
Would you not and tell me if they do this, but wouldn't there be like student buses and bus trip downtown? Wouldn't it be like? Wouldn't you look forward to this just as much, like as a road trip with your buddies, and say like they probably have buses and booze crews downtown?
I took the Greyhound home a couple times from East Lansing. Like I've done it. You know, I'm sure they'll set up some kind of things, and also like the recruiting factor of kids around the city that can't afford or don't have the means to go out and see the MSU play in East Lansing. Like, I'm sure they're going to have sections of teams, high school kids.
The students aren't on campus anyway. It's Thanksgiving weekend. They're all gone.
Exactly.
Like, come on, everybody. You like the checks?
It makes
this
more
is stuff
sense.
you
You
do.
said it's a Friday night too, so it should be.
Who said
put a
Corey Berry?
Put a
That's
crowd in there,
blasphemous.
right?
What'd you say, Spenny?
Corey Berry.
So you
just
got
blasphemous.
Lions Thursday, you got Sparty's Friday.
And then the high school championship Saturday and Sunday. So those get pushed back.
Fort Field's going to be rocking.
Good.
Yeah. So
No,
that's
that
the way it's
seems
going to
like
work.
if you're a football person around the state, that seems like a great couple days, great weekend if you want to see the
Honest
basketball
Abe
team.
says, why do I feel like Spence is going to get a lifetime ban after that game? I've been pretty plastered at the woodshed a couple times. One time I was in there just hammered, just lighting up smokes in the middle of the student section. People were yelling at me like, "You can't do that!" And I'd put it out, and then like 2 minutes would go by, and I'd light it up again. There were some good times at the woodshed for sure.
Bronco 81 says it sucks for the season ticket holders. They got their money back.
Yep, they refunded them.
So I mean, guys, again, get used to this. This is the way it's going to continue to go. NBC said we need night games. Period. End of story. If you do not give them to us, then you violate the agreement. And then guess what we need? Money back that we gave you, that you already spent.
Yep.
And how does that work out? Once the check is cashed, you don't
It's
want to get
spent.
that back.
No, yeah, 100%. So you will do what you have to do. Games in Detroit around holiday weekends are fire, especially Michigan State fans. They roll out. I've called games, biggest two crowds ever, basketball crowds ever, at the Palace and at LCA.
Yeah.
Michigan State Oakland basketball games. Wait and see.
State
You guys
fans show out, man.
Everybody just wait and see, and everyone's like, it won't be a college atmosphere.
Yes,
if
it
Michigan
will.
State's good, they will be.
They're probably not going to be, but it's
And
still
plus,
will be.
you're going to bring in probably more Penn State people. There's a lot of seats there.
Guess what? And you know what, too, real quick, I know we're cutting into the Ask Sam Flannel part of it.
Oh, no.
But real quick, too, you know what? Everyone says, what? We got to get the SEC to come up north and play outside. Guess what? The up north teams don't want to play outside.
Yeah.
So stop with that. You just got evidence of it. No one wants to be outside in the winter. Nobody. And that includes your football teams and your conference. So we can put that to bed, right, Spenny?
That's fair, yeah.
Okay, good. Sports Marketing Agency. They help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their podcast called This Is the S Word helps address the stigma associated with seeking help. If you're struggling or some you know is struggling, go to thesportsma.com. Thesportsma.com, the Sports Marketing Agency. They are here to help. Ask Flannel when we come back. Get those questions in.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. It is time for the Ask Flannel portion of the show. Real quick, Sound Kayak. Michigan plays outside and they like it. Neal just doesn't like anything. Yeah, Sound Kayak, where they play the Big Ten Championship at? They go to Soldier Field and play that? No, they play in a dome. That's what the TV networks want, so that's what you want. Because the TV networks give you the money. I love this pushback against how the Big Ten's selling out. Well, no. You're selling out.
Yeah.
Just call it what it is. I love selling out.
Just
sell
say
out.
you're taking the money.
Yeah.
I mean, just admit it. Self-awareness. Take the power away from everybody else. I mean, that's what everybody's doing. What we talk about all today through all different sports and stuff. It's all about the bag, whether it's sponsorship, whether it's games, this, that, football, baseball. It's all about the money.
Here's a good one to start off the Ask Flannel portion of the show. Let's go Red Wings Party. Ask Flannel question. This is a two-parter. Number 1, who do you think you are? And number 2, what gives you the right?
About what? That's
just in general.
Everything.
I mean, Woodward Sports decided that I can still be here. So, and I have a microphone, and while I have a microphone, you will listen to every word I say. To quote the great Adam Sandler.
Eric Dress wants to know, Ask Flannel. Will Data Davis, a.k.a. Alternate Days, a.k.a. Half Man, Half a Series, a.k.a. Half Man, Half a Season.
A.k.a. Jorts.
A.k.a. Jorts. Will he win the MVP next year?
I never said he was an MVP caliber player. He might have been at one time in New Orleans, but he's not that guy. He's not
that guy, pal.
He's not going to win the MVP, but he is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Chuck Brewer, Ask Sam Flannel. Have you gotten to the point where you let your wife win fights yet?
I mean, we don't really argue, and when we do, I don't know. It's just, it doesn't... It's different with sports because there's numbers in which you can quantify. When it comes to some marital issues, it's a lot of times just, I don't know, emotions and whatnot. Me and my wife are just fine. That's all I'll say.
That's cute. We don't really fight.
It was just marital issues. Yeah. That was just so cringe coming out of his... Oh, you newlywed, you.
Robert Colosia, Ask Flannel. Did you let her in high school, or were you the one keeping box score on the bench?
I am probably among one of the worst athletes at Woodward Sports, if not the worst. And I will say that I never had the high school glory days of Spenny or the professional sports glory of D-Mac and Braylon Edwards or even the high school glory of guys like Adam Baydoun. I was not really an athlete. I played 2 years of JV football in high school and was a backup lineman. That's all.
I got a follow-up question. If you had to choose a sport to participate in that cost you your mortgage, what is your best sport?
I would probably say pickup basketball.
Pickup basketball.
Just because of the height. Like, I'm tall for like a regular guy.
Rich Diana, this one for you, D-Mac, says, D-Mac, could you be a deer and bring Neal's Bentley around front? His chauffeurs will appreciate it. I'll just have you know.
Mr. Ruhl, are you in the structure again today, or are you back in your normal
I am in the
spot?
Structure, but I brought the Range Rover today. So
sorry, guys. I'm not allowed to drive the Range Rover.
And don't be messing around with the moonroof either.
No, last time didn't end up good. I can't pull it out of the garage, by the way. 2 days in a row in the garage?
I'm in the garage too.
Yeah, there's some construction going on one of the buildings down there. So like all my regular spots are all gone. So that's all right. I'll deduct it on the taxes. I keep those receipts, Spenny.
Oh yeah,
Spenny. I'm a hawk with these receipts.
Oh, for sure.
Anything out of the normal. We are going to war this year.
Oh yeah, no prisoners.
I'm gonna buy an EV strictly for the tax credit.
I'm getting money back today or this year.
I am too. And I am going to buy an EV just for the tax credit.
I love how you guys learn your lessons.
I'm going to pop out
let
a
it
couple
happen
of
once. Don't let
goblins.
the same mistake happen twice.
Pop out a couple of
Sam,
bastards
who's your
just to write 'em
favorite
off.
athlete of all time and favorite sports team of all time?
My favorite athlete of all time is LeBron James. My favorite sports team is Michigan football.
Steve Reiner, Ask Flannel. What's your favorite Woodward sports show to work on?
This one, hands down.
Really? Why?
Because it was where I got my start. When I started here, not to get sentimental, I was just a guy in the sound booth who was struggling with the buttons and maybe said one thing a day. And this is the show that really helped me grow. So I actually have you guys to thank, and you guys in the audience who are not very happy with me right now, but I still love you guys anyway. It's all good.
Yeah, but you're consistent, kid.
Man,
That's all that
You're the
matters. And you're a real person, not like the cat spot GPT.
True.
That is
did
true.
you see earlier, Neal, that Grandpa Joe was the one who confessed he's been programming the cat spot for 30 years? We're getting to the bottom of things around here.
This isn't a question for Flannel. It's more of an observation/statement. RJ Graham says, I knew it. He has no idea how sports work, but Sam has an opinion about sports like every young influencer on YouTube.
Flannel knows how sports work.
Bam!
Thank you, Spetty.
Flannel knows sports.
Not the nuance, though.
I don't know. I'll give it to him.
I appreciate that.
But here's the great thing about flannel, right? Is what we can agree on what that text said is that flannel represents part of the audience.
He does. Bronco 81, this is a good one. Ask Flannel. Will you still cheer for LeBron if he goes to the Warriors?
That would be my worst nightmare. That's why it's not going to happen. Can't happen.
Answer the question for the young man. Will you still cheer for LeBron?
This is an Ask Flannel segment.
Gosh, yes or no?
Yes. But
how can you? He cannot be your favorite player of all time if you can't say yes to begin with. Because no matter what, wherever your favorite player goes, you go. That's the nuance that Neal's talking about right there. You can't wishy-washy on your favorite.
All right, fair enough.
In my opinion.
That's a good point.
But that's your opinion.
Another observation. Dan Wood says Sam Flannel is meat riding Neal right now.
That's interesting. That's very interesting
Whoever
observation.
brought up that meat riding term. Anyways, hey, anybody who's watching Vegas, Dallas tonight, I'll be on third period with the NHL YouTube, like Gabby
on their YouTube channel.
Stanley Cup Central.
So check it out.
Check it out. He will be there. You'll be off sometime next week, D-Mac, so enjoy yourself.
I'm gone tomorrow. Obviously gone Monday. I'll be back on Tuesday. I wish everybody a happy Memorial Weekend. Everybody be safe, and we'll see you back Tuesday. You guys have fun tomorrow.
Hey, we're going to have the biggest of big package Fridays.
I'll probably tune in.
I can't wait. For D-Mac, for Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxner, my name's Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.